All right, we are now live.
Live. And the family's back together, man. Last week, Kai was gone. But we all back. We back. You want to tell them where you was at or not?
It just started.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to tell them where I was.
All right, tell them where you
It
were.
was like so much fun.
Tell them where you were, because I don't be snitching. I don't never tell. When you not here, I tell them. I'm like, I'm not telling y'all where Kai.
So last week I was on the, should I come on that side? Like, I didn't do my makeup or nothing. So last week I was on the Rock the Bells cruise. Shout out to everybody that was on the Rock the Bells cruise last week. We went to the sail to the Bahamas, but who was on board? Big Daddy Kane.
Kid Capri.
Kid Capri. Oh yeah, Kid Capri,
Right.
Jazzy
Right.
Jeff, MC
Right.
Light, EPMD. Trick Daddy and Trina.
Trick Daddy and
Too
Trina.
Short. Yeah, like it was lit. Like we had an amazing time. I suggest everybody go check it out. Rock the Bells cruise is going to be sailing next year in November. It was like a family reunion. Like it was
liked
just,
it?
it was
Cool.
so
It
dope.
looked
It was
fun.
my first cruise. It was my first cruise too, and I survived. So
It looked fun. Shout out to the Brooklyn
Yeah.
Alumni chapter of Delta Sigma Theta. Their president, Kenya Johnson, and a bunch of Deltas was on that cruise. And, you know, from the looks of it, everybody had a great time. I'm definitely down to get on it, but the right people got to be performing.
You know what I mean?
You know what
I
I mean?
didn't tell you who wasn't.
Right.
Yeah.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
I'm gonna send a message to the Facebook group.
How many days was it?
And we left from Miami on Monday, and we came back Friday morning. So we was just there Monday through Thursday. We were at sea.
Yeah. Yeah. How was your weekend, Jay? How was your week?
It was good. We went back up to the the farm to go get some donuts and barbecue sauce and some apple butter.
Nice. I love apple butter.
Yeah, we did all that, and that's it. Really, just chill.
So I was in Stars of New York Dance on Friday. So there's a dance competition that happens in New York where they pair like celebrity notables with professional dancers. So on Friday we was in the competition. Shout out to Akora, my dance partner from the Billie Holiday Theater. We danced a tango and we killed it. We didn't win. Assemblymember Monique Chandler Waterman out the 58, she did Dance Hall Queen, right? So, you know, Dance Hall Queen for life. So she had like 50 kids running down the aisle with flat. It looked like Labor Day, like it looked like Carnival. So she killed it. You can't beat that. You don't want to beat that, right? But it was a great experience. And then on Saturday, I was the master of ceremonies for the Cultural Museum of African Art. Shout out to Eric Edwards. Shout out to Kenny Montgomery. That's Kenny Montgomery's uncle and aunt. So Eric Edwards has the largest collection of African art in New York State. He has about 5,000 artifacts, right? And so we are housing just 3% of his work. It's not even a lot of his work. It's like 100 pieces, right? But we're housing it at Best Eye Restoration. And so we did the grand opening on Saturday. Everybody was there, and it was a great day. So I've had a great weekend. I'm happy to be back with y'all. This is Thanksgiving week, which means ain't nobody really doing no work. This is probably the laziest week of the year for people. Don't nobody want to go to work or do anything.
I'm working hard. If you need that, Shirling,
Right.
I'm here for you. I'm your girl. Come through.
I want to shout out April, Bruce. That's the sweater. I'm not your Negro. I think it's like Block Print Shop on IG. And I also want to shout out my man Keurig from Cool for Life. He does the I'm So Brooklyn hoodies and sets. And I spoke to him this week, man, and I told him, you know, I really want to get him into a situation where we can get his brand visible. From the hood, from Gates.
Yeah, though, I was just saying, just send me some joint.
Yeah.
This is my joint from my brother Bless that we have on us couture. This is.
Oh, that's yours?
Yeah. So we rocking this. This is, come get flowers.
Where they can get it at?
Hit my brother Bless ENY on Instagram and take your orders.
Yeah, I gotta give me a set.
Wow.
I'm absolutely hit. So I'm happy to be back. We had the truck jewelry exhibition last week. Shout to Shara. Shout to Bluster One. We love hip hop. We love what we do. And so we back. And so let me set the stage before we get a chance to build with the brother to my left. We've been over the last other than the 14th. The two prior to that was we had members of the boot camp clique. So we had General Steele, shout out to Steele. and then we had the Rock This Monster. And, you know, throughout it all, we've been talking about this, the era that we come from out of Brooklyn in the early to mid 90s and how we developed as, you know, kids in high school into this space where we were all chasing hip hop in some form or fashion. Mm-hmm. What I can say about the brother to my left, and he probably doesn't even know that I feel this way about him, but what I can say is of all of the members of Boot Camp Click, the brother to my left has always been the most visible in my community. I'm from Bed-Stuy, Crown Heights, Clinton Hill. He's from Bed-Stuy. And he's a brother that you can easily be on Gates Avenue and see him. You can easily be on Fulton Street and see him. And this idea that celebrity has where it's like you can't be normal or you can't go back to where you come from. That's only if you're being fake, or that's only when you're selling yourself out for something.
Absolutely.
Authentic people can always exist in authentic places.
Anyway.
I remember one time I saw you at Melba's. Shout out to Melba's.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This is what I'm saying. Like, and I know we ain't know each other back then, but I would see you in these spots in community, and I realized that you were always affable, always agreeable to people. I've seen people come up and give you pounds or whatever like that. Mm-hmm. And you handle this idea of, I don't even like using the word, but like starting, right? Like you handle your notoriety very well. And I've watched that from you over the years, mm-hmm. from afar. And then once I got a chance to meet you and be able to build with you, mm-hmm. you handle your profession and your craft and what it means to community in a very, very, very positive way. And I'm saying that because I've seen others that are in spaces that you're in that are inauthentic, mm-hmm. and it don't vibe right.
Alhamdulillah.
You know what I'm saying? But this brother vibes right. So I want to introduce to some and I want to present to others my brother Tech. Give it up for Tech.
Yes. Boom, boom, boom. Let's do this. Just to touch on that. Thank you for that intro. But that comes from being raised right. You know, I come from a big family, 9 brothers, 6 sisters, and that's from Mama Love nurturing. And she always said, "Yo, you treat the janitor and the dishwasher the same way you treat a CEO of the company and anybody." Mm-hmm. And like you said, if you're authentic with yourself and you're comfortable in your skin, then we from the community of the community, so it makes it, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's official.
And something you just touched on with this family structure. So shout out to the Universal Hip Hop Museum and my homegirl Nikki Duncan Smith. She has a podcast every Sunday called Sunday School Dropout. Mm-hmm. And I was interviewed this past Sunday on the show. And one of the things we spoke about was how important a foundational structure is in a child's life. Now, you just said, I didn't know that about you, that you come from a large family. Mm-hmm. Where did you fit in terms of you the oldest, youngest? Where you fit in?
Nah, I'm what you might call the knee baby.
Before the...
I have a little brother,
mm-hmm.
and I have an older brother that's older than me.
Right.
So I'm in the middle, so I'm what you call the knee baby.
Right.
So all of my family was born in Virginia, parts of Bmore.
What parts of Bmore?
We all through the 7 cities.
My people's from Portsmouth.
Yeah,
my people, 1915, Richmond Avenue.
All over there.
Yeah.
So my aunt Sis and all our family, my pops, his nickname was Gun.
Mm.
So that's my pops and uncles was wild through there.
Right.
My pops was actually from Baltimore. My mom was from Virginia.
Mm.
So that's how they met.
Right, DMV area.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah.
So what would you say, what type of child were you? Growing up in this big family, growing up, because you talking that VA and B-more stuff, and I can tell you, I remember taking those Greyhound buses down, you know what I'm saying, spending the summer in Portsmouth, right, living, having family down there, but also being up here, and I understand that dynamic. So mm-hmm. throughout it all, what type of kid were you?
I mean, for the most part, I was quiet and real antisocial, really, because my voice was always high pitched until I really saw somebody that looked and sounded like me, which was we started getting into more of the Mike Tyson age. Mm-hmm. I felt, okay, I ain't gotta be
right,
so shy, curly hair, curly jet black hair. Oh, you look like Curious George. So that kind of not made me lash out, but it made me want to be in physical form where I know, like it's a movie, like I think it's Sherlock Holmes, you know, and he'd be looking at the people, he getting ready to do whatever he do, and he sides them up, and be like, yo, I dodged this, get up under his wrist, break his arm, slip this, he's gonna be out for 2 weeks. So it's just like, that helped my childhood, and it was, being that I had so many brothers and sisters, it was kind of not easy because we came up in hard times, but it was still, you know, the love was there.
Right.
So what you can't find in the home, then that's when you know,
go elsewhere.
Right.
But you're gonna find structure. That's
you're gonna
kids look for structure.
Yeah. My mom was a minister. My dad played a lot of instruments for different bands. My uncles and them, they used to make music. My dad would sit in sometimes for like a James Brown where he would just sit in on a drum sometime or play a guitar or sax. My pop's name was John Williams, and he was really about that life.
Really?
Yeah, so I guess that's where all my musical influence came from, my mom's and dad. I just never knew that I had it until I had to know that I had it.
When did you first get introduced to hip hop?
Into hip hop?
Yeah. Like, give me your first recollection of hip hop.
Man, it would have to be Stretch and Bobito. Coming on late nights, making pause tapes, you know, going, falling asleep, putting a piece of tape over the corner or popping the corner of the tape out so it'll automatically flip over.
Right.
The 90-minute Maxells or some joints like that.
Right.
So once I started hearing that, my ear started being fine-tuned to what hip-hop was. Like, I never wanted to MC. I was always, like I said, the shop fallback one. I wanted to be more behind the scenes, like the engineer or the producer.
So you wanted a career in music, but not lyrically. That's what you're saying?
I was doing like 3 things that I had my life road set on. Right, I was going to college. This was when we were still just coming out of high school. Right, so I was going to New York Tech College down here. I was boxing, and I would always say security and for steel. So at the time, I was just like, yo, whichever one takes off first, that's the road I'm gonna put everything into. And right there at the door of fighting, being able to fight for going, and I could have went professional.
Did you go through Golden Gloves?
I didn't go through Golden Gloves. I didn't win Golden Gloves. I was eligible to go to Golden Gloves, but I was still fighting and training. So I never fought Golden Gloves. But yeah, so that was that. And then it was, my brothers was a bunch of mechanics. It was a bunch of shit like that, doing fucking with remote control cars. That was a big hobby for me. And yeah, then it just so happened, I don't know if I should tell a story now because I don't want to get too far from the questions you asked, or how did it, should I just go and how it all?
Yeah, we can go. It's fine.
All right, so going through night school, I met Buckshot's sister, Tracy. So she was always tell.
So this is you at Princeton at the time. You went to Princeton.
Yes, I went to Princeton for day school.
Right.
Went to Park West, which is across the corner, across the street down the
block,
night school.
Now let me just interject for a second.
Weston House for summer school.
So let me just interject for a second, because I went to Tech, right? But I went to Washington Irving Night School. And when I tell you that shit was Broadway, when we went to Washington Irving, it was wild. Like, it was crazy.
Nah, Irving was the shit.
Yeah, night school in New York City in the late 80s. Yeah, man.
Even King. Though.
Yeah.
Like it was like those schools really made the character of a person. And brought out fashionists. Washington Irving, art and design. All those was in, you had to get on the train and get to them, but they was all in the areas of each other.
Right. So you went to Park West for night school.
I went to Park West for night school, and I went to Weston House out here for like summer night school.
Right.
So yeah, I did actually graduate high school. I had to make the courses up. And Tracy, which is Buckshot's sister, she would always be telling me, yo, you gotta meet my brother Kenyatta. And it was to the point I'm like, yo, just, all right.
Just set it up.
Just
set it up.
Stop telling me this every day, please.
Right. Why she felt you had to meet her?
I don't know, because at that time I don't even think she really knew that me and Steele knew each other, because Steele met her in another school.
Right.
So that's how he met. She's
just going around telling everybody, yo, you gotta meet my brother.
No, street promotion was the best promotion back
ever.
then.
Right. My brother's nice. You gotta meet him.
Right. And this when Buck and Five and Evil D, they was doing their thing, and Steele was smoking every competition out, talent shows,
that's what Rock said.
Like joints. I mean, it was. I was awed just to be. I wasn't even his first partner. Rock was really like one of his first partners, because I didn't write. I didn't rhyme. He wrote my first verse for me.
Who? Still?
He wrote my first verse for me. Like this was days when the hooky party was big. So the truancy office was in our school.
Right.
So we would rob whoever or see what we needed for that time.
Right. Acquire.
Yeah.
Borrow.
Permanently.
Talk to them, make them an offer they couldn't refuse.
Because they couldn't refuse it.
From there, that was probably, once truancy started, high school, that's probably like third period truancy. And then you got home. As long as you check in the home and get your attendance checked, you out the door.
Right.
So we would do that. And some joints would be hooky parties, doing our push-ups, working out. And our brother Tropical, Sticky Fingers from Onyx went to our school also. So they had the joint they was doing. Craig G went to our high school. Cyclonus went up there. We would see Rakim pull up.
Cyclonus went to Princeton.
Yes.
Rumble went to Princeton.
That's all before. I don't know if Rumble
Baby
attended.
Rumble. Yeah, Baby Rumble went to Princeton.
Then we would see Rakim pull up when the 300 was the big body 300 with the wing on the back pull up, and it was just like, okay.
Right. So what we be talking about is, throughout this year, one of the things we kind of got to is the fact that hip hop, in the form that people consume it today, really started in New York City high schools. It really was high schools like Princeton, high schools like King, high schools like Tech, like where people were kind of mixing, like you from where you from, I'm from where I'm from. We learning from one another in a social way. I ain't talking about reading, writing, and arithmetic. I'm talking about how to survive being 14 years old and living in the city, where you take the train home and anything could pop off between West 4th and the Junction.
Anything.
Right? So you were learning survival skills, but also your creativity was able to be shared from a social standpoint, like be it rhyming or be it tagging, be it graffiti, be it whatever. And so that's kind of what you're touching on, is this idea of, well, you wasn't necessarily a rapper at the time, but you were enlightened by your surroundings.
Right, yeah, definitely. You still had the banging on the lunchroom tables in the back. We still had the ciphers going on. Print was set up where it was a handball court, and they had like some little duck-off steps that you just get there. And if you couldn't fight, you didn't even go to those steps. If you ain't you ain't
built like that, you stay over in the front of the school.
Right. And then like a regular schoolyard, you had the basketball courts here, so you could really see everything just posting up right there. And that was really.
Give me a second, Jay. Can you answer this? Somebody keep calling me. Tell them I'm on a podcast or something, man. Just
okay. So since we're pausing,
just tell them text me.
Princeton High School. How do you spell that?
Princeton, like printing. Printing.
Where was that?
Right in the middle of Hell's Kitchen on 47th Street.
Oh, okay. So that was like really. That was like okay, yeah.
Not too far from King.
Right. I was gonna say like down a few blocks.
Like 58th or 59th.
Yeah. No, that was actually one stop on a train.
Right.
And it would be 59th.
So 59th.
Yeah.
Right. So it was right there, 59th.
Right there. Yeah.
Like 59th.
That's King. And that's where
his work.
Of course, Montgomery went to King.
Right.
Oh, okay. It's graphic and design now.
It's Princeton, formerly known as Graphic Art and Design. But that's crazy. That's where we went to high school at, and that's what's running hip hop now.
Right.
We was learning that in high school.
Right.
But like fuck, I'm not sitting in this screen printing class or learning
Right,
how
I'm not
to
even
make.
interested in that.
Right.
And that's what's the fashion right now.
Mm-hmm.
So
Exactly.
that was crazy that we was put in that environment to see that from then, and to be able to, how many years forward? 30 years forward, and we right here.
Right. Right. So Tracy, Buck's sister, it's like, yo, you gotta meet him. You gotta meet him. Tell me about when you meet him.
I think by the time I really got to meet Buck, he had just did the video, Who Got the Props, so Buck was scorching hot.
Right. So you didn't.
Matter of fact,
You didn't meet him before that. Right. That's what I'm saying.
Met Buck before that. We met Buck before that, but he just happened as we was actually meeting him. His deal was coming together for that.
Mm-hmm.
So they shot the video, and he was everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I think probably a couple of weeks or a month after did they run around, the man still jumped on, and we would come out with Ski Mask opening up for him before they shows. This one he had, I think it was Chuck Chill Out for a manager and shit like that.
Right.
So we would open up for Buck, and then they would come out, and it was just smash.
Now let me ask you, because like you reserved, you are, you know what I'm saying, like introverted in a way. Tell me about the first time you was on stage.
That I always compare what I do in hip hop to boxing for me, because that makes it easier.
Right.
So the first time performing on stage was like the first time going into the ring for a sparring session or a fight.
Mm-hmm.
Like you get butterflies.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But as far as being on stages goes, once you say the first sentence or 4 or 5 words, that's gone.
Right.
Which is the same thing in boxing, in the ring. Once you land your first shot, your butterflies is good. So now you
good.
You got
Right.
yourself together.
Right.
So on stage, it was just like, I think it's still like that for me to this day. Unconsciously, subconsciously, it's like, sometimes I see it as I watch. If I watch different shows, I see still more like I play the background
Mm-hmm.
a lot more,
Mm-hmm.
because that's just me.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying we still give a hell of a show and we're still there. It's just, it's formations at
Right.
time. Again, like structure.
Right.
So that's what that is.
So you went basically from not necessarily writing rhymes to opening for one of the hottest acts in Brooklyn.
Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
Bro, that's crazy.
Absolutely.
That's crazy.
Because once Still wrote my first rap, it was over. I was like, I'm not gonna say it was easy, because it wasn't easy.
Right.
But at the same time, it wasn't rocket science either.
Right.
And if you have it in you, then it's in you. It's just not on you. It's in you.
Right.
So to bring it out and put it down and talk about our lives or whatever it is, it did come figurative, kind of easy. As far as the creative part is writing the verses.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, I had a partner, so I didn't have to write. Back then, you was writing 3 full 16s for one song, or 32 bars for a song. So having a partner, that kind of lifted the weight up.
Mm-hmm.
We would share it. I write a 16, he write a 16, I write an 8, he write an 8, and then we, put it together.
So you on the road, you said you were just opening here, or was you actually traveling with Black Men?
No, we was everywhere.
Yeah, I was everywhere.
Because of our big little brothers, we got the chance that was our first worldwide tour with Black Men. We had the big black and red 18 looking van with the duck down logo on the side.
Right.
Had the little remote control joints doing Jack the Rapper, mm-hmm. Our brothers. So that we bust our nuts, so to speak, with Black Men, because that opened people up to see us.
And what was your first impression of the industry at large, like the bigger industry?
Really, we really wasn't. For me personally, I wasn't.
You really wasn't studying.
Yeah,
right.
It wasn't
right
for me, so to speak. There was people out there that I still get starstruck from seeing or would want to meet, because before we was doing it, it wasn't nobody doing it for us. So it really wasn't an interest there, you know what I mean? Until we got in the door, you're like, oh, okay, you could do this. Like the first time I started really recognize other MCs and rappers was like seeing Das Effects and EPMD in the park in Pennsylvania around from the Dog Hilly. Like these guys is pulling up again in 600 Benzes, like in the park, literally. And we like, oh, now I see, this is what hip hop is? All right, and I can fuck with this.
Now, all three of y'all have mentioned the Dog Hilly. Rob kind of, delved into it, but I want you to kind of explain what that was.
Well, the Dog Hilly was Mama Yates, bless Barbara Yates, and it's so crazy that me and Steele's mother name is Barbara, as well as rest in peace.
Both of your moms.
Mother name is
Barbara. Right.
So that made our bond even more sacred than, tighter than a lot of people. And well, the Dog Hilly was a place of residence where, Mama Love would let all of us come in and stay, really live. It wasn't y'all gotta get out of here. Along whatever you was doing, you was providing for the home at that time and everybody in it, because she got her kids and she all treated each one of us like we was her kids. So that was our mother. And she's still here. Big up Mama Yates. That's Mama Love for life.
I want to kind of get into I'll tell you where I'm trying to go, because Boot Camp Click was one of the first groups. Now, we're age appropriate. So what I'm saying is, like, I graduated high school in 92, right? So I remember when Who Got the Props came out, right? We were buzzing off this cat because he was screaming out FAP. I'm from Crown Heights. I'm from St. Mark's, between New York and Nostrand. So it's like, Buck was like, he was highly relatable.
He was the spokesman.
Right. He was one of us, in a way, right? And then y'all drop, and your first joint is Bucktown, and it's like, this becomes our anthem. At the time, I'm at Morgan State, so I'm in Baltimore.
Okay.
Going to school, and you guys drop Bucktown, and it becomes Brooklyn's anthem. But the thing about it though is that you guys had a structure. There was like and you could see it in your brand imagery, but you could also hear it vocally. Talking about breaking day, talking about fitness, doing push-ups, doing dips, smoking trees, which is something we was all dealing with. Like all of us, like you 18, 19 years old, you wasn't smoking weed for 3-4 years tops at this point, right?
Already.
But you guys, Boot Camp Click had a structure, a format. You had like pillars. You had like a belief system. I want to kind of get to where that comes from. Was it just y'all was all air-lights, or was it something conscious where you was like, okay, boom, if we gonna hang out together, we gotta get fit, right? We gotta do this, we gotta study, right? Like where did the structure come from?
I mean, well,
or was there a structure?
Maybe there definitely was a structure. That's why it was named Boot Camp.
Right.
That's why it was Boot Camp Click. But we was military minded early. We was doing sturdiness early. We was doing like my family, most of the men is military driven. So all that, my brothers was drill sergeants and had ranks in the army. So they would come home and, that's when you fighting with your brother. Yo, give me 20 push-ups.
Right.
Clothes too big for you. So you got to bulk up.
Right.
You're going to be the runner of the family.
Right.
So I think we all had our own. We all dealt with the lessons, back then, like you said, that was the 5% nation. So that we all dealt with the nation of having knowledge of self one way or the other. So, and those who didn't have at the time, we would gather up and we would sit in the Dog Hilly and we would go over the lessons. We wasn't trying to force the lessons on nobody, but even rest in peace, Sean, he had knowledge of self. Everybody had knowledge of what they was doing. And once we came together, that's why I say it's so much deeper than rap with the boot camp, because we wasn't a rap group that was put together.
Right.
We was already family that was fucking with each other from up the hill, from the Style, the Ville, Franklin Ave, Crown Heights, before any type of contract was even signed. Before his was rapping, yeah, but it wasn't a record deal. Was far fetched. You know, when you look at names that was on the air, it was the older other names. They was doing what they was doing. I wasn't jagging those. The songs now, when you hear it back, and you be like, damn, that shit was live back then, and it's still right. Like the message is like, you gotta know the ledge and know what it is that you're doing. Right. And we just all came together and made it work for us. So it was always definitely structured there.
Right.
For sure.
Right. So how do we get to Smif-N-Wessun? Tell me about that name and like where that comes from.
Oh man, Smif-N-Wessun. Me and Steele came up with that name one day, and I want to say in his uncle's, rest in peace, basement. He had an apartment over there on like Sumter. I want to say it was on Bainbridge, one of those over there. And you know, this was a time I think Steele had a talent show coming up at one of the joints, and we write and watching, you know, going over, like we watching the playbook. Like, nah, son, you can't move like that when that word come up. You should do this. So just tightening up the showmanship. So as we writing and looking at it, we just start, you know, brainstorming like, yo, we need a name. Like, if we're going to be a group, we need a name. And it was like, yo, everybody else had this and that, this and that. It was like, yo, when you see... What's so crazy about it, people used to always say, like, yo, when I see Steele, Tech don't even be around until you turn around and then you'll see him coming around a corner or some shit, and vice versa. And then when they see me, they're automatically calling me Steele and Steele Tech. So it's like, all right, we need a name that's going to be like, it's one name when we say it, it's two names, but just going to make you think of one person or one group or one entity. And we just started running on joints, and Smif-N-Wessun popped up. Boom. And like, nah, that's crazy. That's it.
Right.
That's crazy. Then we did have the Cocoa Brothers, but we got that just from smoking black weed all the time and being so dark.
Yo, what's your favorite weed spot in Bed-Stuy? I never, we don't go here, but I want to know because I got some favorites.
It ain't even there no more.
None of them is there no more, bro.
I mean, now you got legal weed.
Yeah, but none of them shits ain't legal though. Them smoke shops is different.
Way different. My favorite weed spot in Brooklyn wasn't even in Bed-Stuy.
Where was it? Cooper?
Or Underhill.
Underhill and Bergen.
Underhill and Bergen.
Oh, I think I know that spot. So look, fucking W&W on Grand was my spot. Then Pyramid, Curtains of Solomon, on Fulton and St. James, Fulton between. But I live over there. I live on Green and St. James.
Right. You getting specific with names.
Yeah, Curtains of
We
Solomon.
was just like, yo, what block is it on?
Yeah, nah, we spoke
What was that,
about
Halsey?
the strongman spot.
there?
The strongman spot on Franklin between Fulton and Lefferts.
Oh, man, that's now you.
The spot on Franklin and St. Mark's. I could talk that talk.
I had a man named Pitbull that lived on Hawthorne. That was my
Hawthorne right off of Flatbush, between Flatbush and the next block.
and Nostrand. No, Hawthorne and Nostrand.
Hawthorne
Right
and
there,
Nostrand.
like in the corner, the big building, Pitbull. Like anybody that know Pitbull, his shit was like nigga, like it was coming from the shower posse at that time.
Right.
And that shit was used to be like, oh my God. Then it was A Black from 105th and First. We was tearing that shit up.
Well, uptown.
East
side.
Uptown. Me and Big went in there before they locked the door and just let us smoke whatever. And they gave us like big brown paper bags.
Yeah, I remember the Branson spot.
Oh man.
Bradhurst was that 147 Bradhurst.
I ain't really venture up that far for weed.
But it was like a thing though.
So it was different up there.
Like back then it was though. But I had niggas in Harlem that kind of introduced me to the spot. But it was different back then. Like we used to like these spots, like the blocks, like you said, you know the blocks. or like if like the strongman spot or like
right.
Josh and them at Curtis and Solomon,
Mhm.
like it was like a quest almost to find
that was part of the high.
right.
That was
to
part of the
find
high,
that.
like the Friday.
Right. And then
So we even went to
and then to be
4/5
connected.
and get the. That's when the haze was a dime bag, literally this big,
Right.
for one spliff only. So
Right.
you had to buy at least 5-10 bags of haze.
Right.
We was getting that from the homie Luca right there. Or that was basically that was the script for the tunnel on a Sunday.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Get your V-Wall, shoot uptown, go around the corner, get you your iceberg joint, see Luca out, get you some music, some haze.
You talking about 145th?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. You talking that's campy.
Yeah.
Luca Brasi. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Come back down to Brooklyn, get your fit together, go get your cut, then you meet up and either out front or in the tunnel or on the highway, just blowing.
Let me ask you something. Tell me the first time when you realized you loved the game. Like when you realized that moment when you realized, like, damn, I love this game.
That was a minute ago because I still love the game. But I think I really, really fell in love with when I really first heard our joint. I think it was Bucktown on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
Like by then we was moving around and it was fun and limos pulling up to the Dog Hill, jumping in to do shows, going here and there. But when I heard our joint, Smif-N-Wessun,
Right, on the radio.
my voice and Still voice.
How your parents at?
Well, like I said, my mom was a Christian minister, so she was like, "Get that shit,
Get that shit out of here! Get that shit out of here!" What you talking about with this?
But she was so used to it because, like I said, my pops was in, my uncles was in. So, but she was so happy for us, man. She was so happy for us, and that's another part that helped us because our parents was there. Mama Rock, Mama Yates, Mama Williams, my moms. They didn't really know each other, even cook moms, but they knew of each other, and yeah, they was right there.
Mm-hmm.
They was right there, like from the time babies was being born, and everybody know, you gotta take the baby to Tech Mom, you gotta get the baby over there.
So this was really like a tribe thing.
Oh yeah, exactly. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Like they say, you gotta find your tribe.
Yeah.
And that is our tribe. That's our tribe.
Right.
Definitely.
Right. Tell me about Making the Shaman, because I feel like that shit is a classic.
Thank you.
And I've had conversations with people, and when I explain to them why I think it's a classic, I think it's a classic for two reasons. The first reason is it created a vernacular in hip hop.
Okay.
Right? It reinforced a specific vernacular in hip hop. And by vernacular, obviously, I mean how people talk about things, how people say certain things, right? PNC didn't exist in the lexicon until you guys bought it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the first reason. But then the second reason is the shit had impact in hip hop culture, but it also spoke for Brooklyn because it was decidedly connected to Caribbean, especially, I mean, Soundboy Burial.
Mm-hmm.
Like, bro, that shit ring out to this day. So if you got something that rings out 30, you know what I mean? You got something that ring out 30 years later, it's obviously a classic. Tell me about the process. Because now you ain't a writer at first, like, but you write
by the time I'm getting into the shining.
Now you writing.
Yeah.
Now you writing.
We rocking.
That's what I'm saying. Now it's on.
We rocking. As far as even learning the process, that came again from our big brother Buckshot, our big little brother Black Moon, because we was in every session as they was doing Enter the Stage. So we learned we sort of had the cheat code of what to do, what not to do. You know, Buck was incredible. When he came to making up the melodic flows and putting his words together. So we was all there helping and being a part of and hearing. And then when it came our time to go into the studio, it was even more special because Black Moon was working with one brother from the Beat Miners, which was Eagle D.
You was working.
We was working. who actually was sort of say the mentor
Right.
of Evil D, which is the older brother, Mr. Wolf.
Right.
So it was a learning experience. Like we caught Soundboy on a humble. They did that for Helter Skelter. They ain't want to beat. Like they ain't shoot that.
Yo, they ain't want the beat.
Yeah.
Shit.
They ain't want, we caught like 2-3 joints like that.
Uh-huh.
Oh, y'all don't want that? Send that. But yeah, I mean, we used to have to write. We would go to Mama Dugard house, rest in peace, and be in the living room, the kitchen, writing. You know, she was like, "Yo, no smoking in my house." It's like 30 below outside.
Right.
And it's snow. You're like, yo.
Yeah.
EY, get your peoples up out of here. I said no smoking at it.
Yeah.
So, you know, of course, we big on respect for our moms. You got to honor the parents. What we going to say? Nah. So we go outside, roll up, freezer in the park.
Right.
Get our joints together, had a pad, the pen. It wasn't no writing in your phones. This
Nah, that shit didn't exist.
wasn't even,
Yeah, that shit
you know what I
didn't
mean?
exist. Yeah, that shit didn't exist.
So we be out there literally with the 40s on, snow halfway covered up to 40, like under the little jungle gym in the park like this. Yeah,
And that fucking cold air take that blunt quickly, B. That cold air rip that blunt up.
But we got so much of it.
It don't matter, right?
Yeah. I mean, we were still feeling the effects of the high,
Right.
man. Because I don't even think we was even looking at it like that. We knew we was in the Lions Den trying to impress our brothers.
Right.
Black Moon, Drew High, Evil D, Helter Skelter, even OGC. We was like, yo, so you see what they did. The bar is here. So we can't fall short nowhere under here. We either gotta get here or take it here. And you know, that was what we was rocking.
So the shining drops. You guys in some way, like, you know, so like how when Wu came out with 36 Chambers and that shit was a classic, but then when Method came out, like METHOD Man kind of almost eclipsed what the Wu, like it was like almost bigger.
Right.
It was definitely as big.
Right.
And what I'm saying is Bucktown and Soundboy Burial are two joints that were as big, if not bigger, than anything that Buck had put out. And then Buck put out the remix for Buck 'Em Down. Like y'all was killing it for a minute. Because you had Bucktown, then he had Buck 'Em Down, and then he did the remix.
And he did the remix
For Buck 'Em Down. Then y'all came with the second single, Soundboy Burial.
Right.
And it was like, it was just like,
recognized.
Recognize.
See, the thing about Buck was so much ahead of his time too, because Buck knew the game of radio. He knew Buck would, instead of reversing the curses when you hear that, Buck would just go and be like, yo, fuck that song. I'm writing. His vibe was illmatic.
Right.
He was just vibing. You see it coming around, and then it was like, what the fuck is this nigga? How? Where is this coming from?
Right.
We breaking day literally in studio. There wasn't no such thing as setting a studio session, making a studio session before 10 o'clock at night. So we would go in 10 at night and wouldn't leave till maybe 1 in the afternoon the next day. D&D, Calliope, we would sleep under the big quilts that would cover the baby grand piano. So those are kind of thick in there. Because, you know, at a certain hour, the heat in the building is off.
Right.
So we in there, and you would hear scribbling or you would hear melodies. And after you sleep for about an hour nap, you
get up and get to it.
You refreshed again.
Right.
Time to roll up, drink. This was, I think we might have been just about done with 40s at this time. So now it was Hennessy on deck and shit like that.
Right.
So, once that devil juice, brown liquor come into play, it's a whole different ball game.
Right.
But yeah, it we learned from firsthand being in the field. That's another reason it was boot camp. Then we was all fatigued. That was real shit. That was clothes that was before the money came. You had to wear shit like that, combat boots, and you just added what you did to it to make it look so dope. So that's why I think fashion plays a big part in hip hop. So I was just so happen to be one of them dudes who know how to put it together and make it, make it look right. So
I don't want to jump ahead, but I do want to talk about your faith because I know that you're a man of faith. And I kind of want to know, like you said, your mother was a minister. I know you study and you were a child of Islam. And kind of, I want to know where and when did that kind of submission to faith take place? And did it kind of change or alter how you viewed your work as a professional?
I could say my change of faith and submission to Islam came when I was probably around 16, 17.
Oh, so it was early on.
Yeah, it was. I didn't convert that early.
Right.
I was just starting to have questions about my mom's teachings and what she was dealing and going to church every Sunday and having a pastor collection plate and being in church from 8 in the morning to 5 p.m. And then when you leave the church, you see this person and they doing that, deacon doing this, and you hear little whisperings about. So I'm like, why is this? Well, how can it be? What's the whole purpose of it? And what really brought me closer to Islam was one of my older brothers, Supreme, that got locked up, and he was facing a lot of joints. And the letters he would be sending home, I would be reading, and I would just be like, what is this he talking about? Jihad and war, and now there's another person that looks like us. Now you're talking about Allah, and you're talking about submission, and you found this. So that made me start doing the research for myself. And once I was like, yeah, this fits me. This I feel what this is coming from. Now I'm getting goosebumps. But that came around, I'm like, oh shit.
Right, you're receiving.
Yeah, so even talking about it now is almost like I'm getting teary eyed. So it's just like, yo, I gotta find somebody else that's in this. That was my brother Twani Ranks. He took me to take my Shahada at Taqwa, the mosque over here on Bedford Ford. Yeah. And from there I've been walking in Islam ever since.
Yeah.
I know I'm not perfect 100%, but none of us is besides Allah. He knows. So, but yeah, that's where my faith and structure allows me to still be able to do it.
And it goes back to what I was saying about this foundational base. Like, so for me, studying what we have now in terms of drill music, in terms of young people's perception of hip hop, the thing that's missing the most is that we've allowed children to be raised without a foundational base or structure of religion or spiritual guidance, right? Mm-hmm. Children need guidance. Definitely. And if you apply foundational guidance to a child, then that child always has a lighthouse.
But a lot of that comes from, even the guidelines that's set out there for us. Like this, when we was coming up, we had uncles and older brothers in the household,
right?
Fathers,
right?
Now when they coming up, it's children raising children.
They coming up all alone.
It's crazy. It's like in the hood, a 30-year-old is damn near a grandparent almost in this day and age. Yeah. So you have no structure or no, not to say authority, not nobody that's gonna boss you around, but you don't have nobody that's gonna tell you, nah, you don't do it like that. Look, I'm not trying to tell you to do it this way. I'm just trying to show you a simpler wait, I've been there. I made that mistake. So if I can help you and say, nah, don't do it like that, young. Do it like this. And it's still up to you to add your footwork and your recipe and spices to the recipe.
Right, but it's that anchor you have.
That's because that's not in the household no more. It's not present.
And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But those of us who had a foundational base oftentimes become seekers, and we find things that are on a higher vibration than that which we even came from.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying about you. You had a foundation. Your mother was a minister, your father was musically inclined, you had uncles, you had brothers and sisters.
Mm-hmm.
You were part of a whole. You never felt alone. And so even though you've moved into a space where now Islam is home for you, you found it because you were a seeker, and you were a seeker because you had a foundational base. And what I'm saying is what we're losing is the opportunity to build foundational bases for our community. I deal with kids all the time.
Mm-hmm.
There's a kid that I used to teach. His mother worked at Target. He had a brother, he was in 6th grade, so he was like 11, 12. His brother was like 18. His brother got murdered, right? This is at the Old Gersh. So at the Old Gersh Junior High School, it's now Van Sicklen Community School, right? So his mom's work at Target. His older brother got murdered. He got a younger sister. He had to get ready for school every day, right? So his mother worked at Target. She's not even in the house. He wakes up. He got to make sure his sister get washed up, wash himself up, take his sister to school, and then get to school.
Mm-hmm.
Dude used to always be late for my class. He used to always be late for my class. My class is the first period. Always late for my class. And then when he comes in, he's like despondent. He's tired. He sits in the back.
But at the time, did you know that
I only knew it from a teacher that told me it.
Right.
Because I was ready to spaz on him.
Right.
Like, yo, dog, like, I'm about to, like, you can't take this class. It was a teacher that told me, listen, he going through a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And it was that conversation that made me realize, like, damn, these dudes is all alone out here.
It is, but to go back a little bit, I did feel alone. Even coming up in a big family like that,
You still had those feelings?
yeah, I still had those feelings. Because a lot of my brothers, sisters are of lighter complexions.
Right.
So it was times where it's like, yo, are you even one of us? Like when it's talk like that, whether it's jokey joke or not.
Colorism.
Yeah, so you don't know nothing about that. You just know how you feel.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even know what it is you feel.
Right.
Because I'm starting programs to get in schools also with the students to do music things and stuff like that to show them how to. Because in this world right now, who doesn't want to be an entertainer? I'm not saying that's the only thing to be, but if that's the catch to the next generation to be like, now I got y'all, then that's what it is. That's what needs to be done. So I have music programs that's being set up in talking to kids in the jail and in different schools, dealing with different age of kids. So it all plays a part to where being a seeker, it makes you want to go back and help someone else.
Correct. Right.
Because if you wasn't getting it then, I don't know, it's just always in the back to be like, nah, if you see something, you got to do something right. If something is fucked up, then you got to
fix it.
That's our obligation,
That's our
especially
obligation.
as Muslim men and as black men in our community to our black younger brothers as well as sisters. We see them fucking up. We can't knock them upside the head like, nigga.
Right.
Because they don't respect that.
Right.
When you come to them
And that judgment is misplaced.
Exactly. When you looking, you got your drip on, he dripping, and y'all just kicking, and you're like, nah, son, I fuck with you, old young. And like, nah, OG or old head, whatever that's like. Nah, all right, so that's what we need to do. Yo, take my number, word. Nah, I didn't even know that was you until my cousin told me that you do this. I'm rapping, right? Oh, word, all right, come to the stools, let's see what we can do.
And you do that a lot because, again, I see you outside, bro.
Yeah,
you be outside. You fuck with niggas on the street level.
I'm from the street.
Right.
So I know what it is when you see it. When you can spot something, it's like we used to do in the game. When you can eye something and be like, yo, that's it. All right. Or you can eye something the same way and be like, nah, that ain't right.
Mm-hmm.
That ain't right. That's why I asked you, did you know what the young girl was going through?
Right, I didn't at
Because,
first.
yeah, so
Like I was the frustrated, out of touch adult for a moment.
Right.
Because for me, in that moment, I'm dealing with 30 kids with 30 issues. Right? And so it's difficult in that space. That's why I got so much respect for teachers. Because it's difficult as a teacher to stand in front of 30 people and be able to effectively diagnose each one of them.
All right, so now take that analogy and put it to hip hop. Boot camp, you got how many different artists? Wu-Tang, you got how many different artists? Even every day you're dealing with someone's, you're not knowing what that person is going through. So you're dealing with their ego, you like, yo, son, we need to get this record out. Oh, man, oh, this nigga, da. But at the end of the day, you're going to want your check. So how you not going to put the work in, and how you not going to be, as we were saying, generals and MPs, how you not going to be a dope general, you first have to be a fucking dope soldier.
Correct.
So you know what to look for and how to move.
Correct.
So now when your soldier come to you, you like, yo, I need blah. It's not just off the muscle to be like, yo, here, I can show you the steps to get there, and I'm going to be right there with you, walking you and helping you. So now when you come together, again, now that's the military mind and the sturdiness of coming together to make it that forefront look united, to make it feel like that. That's what's being portrayed in front of the cameras. When you get on stage, y'all rocking, y'all steps on cue, bang, y'all lyrics is tight, y'all looking good, y'all feeling good. So it comes across, whether it's an old generation or it's a younger generation, and that's what invites more people to, want to talk to you, or want to fuck with you, or want to do something with you. So I'm just trying to tie it all in.
Nah, I get you.
To make it.
Nah, I got you.
So
I got you. So this summer, y'all performed. I was working on the mayor's office 5x5 block party, and y'all came from Rock the Bells to Fulton and Grand, hopped on stage with us.
It was a sea of
rocked
people.
The fuck out. It was like 8,000 people out there, bro. We killed it out there. And I was so appreciative. That's why I give us the applause. Give us the applause, kid. I was so appreciative of having y'all out there because for me, right, so I handled the booking, right, for the 5-borough piece. And then I hosted the Brooklyn one and I hosted the Harlem one. But the Brooklyn one was the most important for me because they brought me in to book Brooklyn. Right? And for me, I was like, yo, well, I want everything that I grew up on stage. I wanted special ed, I wanted Jiggy, I wanted boot camp clip, right? And so to get an opportunity to kind of share that moment with y'all, but also knowing that you just left Rock the Bells. So that was a big, August 5th, 2023 was a big day in hip hop, bro.
Hip Hop 50 was crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy.
That was a special day for me too, just to be on that block that had Fulton right there to start and be like, when you under the lights of your hometown, it's so, again, that's like the butterfly joints. I remember one time my brother Zab Judah told me like, yo, it's so hard to fight home, man, because everybody you know is there. You under the lights, so you under that pressure. Yeah. But when you stand up, you man up, you bust out your 100 clip, your 50 clip, and now it's time to go on stage. You rock it, you see the little homie, you see Son over here, you see Shorty over here. These are like your people that you're passing every day for months before this that might have known what you do, but they didn't even know. But then they ask, yo, what you gonna do? So now you here at home and to see they smiles and then to welcome you. Oh man, when I seen from Putnam and Fulton down there to
goddamn Waverly. Yeah, right. We was all the way down the block.
People, I was like, yo, bomba clear. Yo, it felt so good. And then it felt good to have our brothers, Junior Mafia, big people. Yeah. That's my brothers. Yeah. It felt home. Yeah. You know what I mean? It felt warm. It did. They felt like you had to worry about any snatching your chain or it felt beautiful.
Yeah, it did. And for me, like, I felt the same way, and it's difficult for me to explain that feeling to people, right? To be able to stand on that, I live on Green in St. James, bro. I live right around the corner, right? So to be able to stand on that stage with people that see you on a day-to-day and they know that you were a part of bringing this to them. Yo, it was one of the happiest days I've ever seen in hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like when I got off that stage at the end of the night, it was just like mad love. Like, and the fact that there was no fights, no acts of violence. Every vendor made paper. Every vendor was getting their bread. It was beautiful. But I'm saying for me, it was the reason why I brought it up is it was beautiful to have y'all guys there. But it took me a while for me and Sin to kind of connect the dots because y'all was overseas for a minute. And like I realized, yo, y'all work. Yo, Smif-N-Wessun is fucking working, bro. Like I want to hear about that.
Like, I don't know why we wasn't on that Rock the Bell cruise.
I don't know, man. I gotta talk to the people. I gotta talk to the people there. But I want to hear about this because like y'all being like, I may be bugging with the countries, but like Lithuania and shit, like y'all be outside.
It's like live there.
Yeah, like nah, really, they be gone. Cause I be seeing the guards still.
Very colorful.
Yo, the guards still. One thing I fuck with still for this, cause he be chefing shit up in his room, and then take pictures, and be like posted. This is what I'm eating.
Stuff.
Yeah, sometimes. Nah, my son gets busy. Chef still.
Yeah, he chef it up and put it on Instagram.
He tries strange and some other types of shit sometimes, but he does get busy.
But tell me about that vibe. When you go out there, do these people, these foreign people, they know your words, they know the songs.
Nigga, they know you.
Yeah.
They know you. You gotta remember now, with the age of technology, they're not getting it 6 months.
They get it at the speed of now.
They're getting it at the same time you get it.
Right.
Remember back in the days when you went over to Europe or anywhere, your album was over here out maybe 3 to 6 months before it even got
they
over.
Even heard it, right?
Now, as soon as you leave the studio and you upload it or whatever you put it on,
they hear it, right?
The same way. And with social media, they in your comments, they see you. So we go out to places. It's like before we used to be what's so crazy about it, right? We used to wait for the promoters to be like, yo, for them, y'all go by, we gonna go out and eat. Now we just be like, yo, give us our bread. We going to the supermarket, still gonna cook.
Right, we gonna cook up. Fuck all that shit.
You got Airbnb now. There's a stove there. You're like, yo, we know what we want to eat. We don't eat no pork. We're gonna get some healthy vegetable shits. And still is gonna chef it up.
Right. And we
good. Yeah. We at the round table like this when we just.
So it's a mature thing, bro. Because like maybe 20 years ago it was about the bottles.
Yeah, it was McDonald's.
McDonald's, right.
Hennessy, smoking as soon as you wake up to even get an appetite.
Right.
So now, it's definitely about maturity, health. Mm-hmm. You have kids now, so you wanna be here to see them grow up. Like my son Hoodie right now, he plays for his college in VA. He just made the write-up, dropping. He caught a double, 10 points, 5 rebounds, 2 steals, something crazy. Mm-hmm. And he got a big game right now. I don't know if he want me to say.
That's all right. That's cool. Yeah, that's fine.
So he already be like, yo, daddy, you're not me. You're not nice. You come from my dad.
I tell my son that all the time. Like, I designed you,
daddy. Your drip is like, where the hate come from, bro? Where you think you get it from?
Right.
But nah, it's definitely about maturity and growth, and because still being fans of the game and loving it, you want to do more. Mm-hmm. And when it's almost like you're pigeonholed to where you can't do more, or they don't allow you to do more, now it's almost like you hate it because you're talking out about it. Mm-hmm. So to be able to work at will and travel the globe and get to Europe and China and Japan, that shit is fucking awesome.
Bro, it's amazing.
Yeah.
But this is what I'm trying to get at. Because you travel the world and then you come back home and you good in the hood. You know what I'm saying? And like, I don't want you to, what I'm saying though, bro, is I don't want you to take that for granted.
Nah, because sometimes I watch my back and know how to move. See, that's the thing. You gotta know. You have to have a balance. I'm not in the hood looking crazy or inviting the wolves.
Right.
I know the wolves. I'm with the wolves, but at the same time, I know when to leave the wolves.
Right.
I have a wife at home. Ain't nothing in the street for me at 11, 12, 1 in the morning.
Ain't nothing street for nobody like that. Yeah, but I'm not even talking about the wolves. I'm not even talking on that line. What I'm saying is sometimes when we leave our comfort space and we move into other spaces, I don't want to say elevate because it ain't elevation, it's all the same.
Right.
But sometimes we begin to become disenfranchised. Like there are people who lose themselves in that process.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like, so I've been to fucking Norway, nigga, I'm not coming back to Bed-Stuy, right? Like, they begin to lose themselves. They think that this means something. But one thing about y'all that I really respect is you guys travel the world.
Yes.
And the world loves you. Anywhere you
3, 4
go.
times.
Yeah, you go.
Especially when you have a balance in your life where you know what the difference is. That's what I think as grown folks we strive for, right? So you want to find that peace in your home, in the studio, if that's what does you, putting pieces together, talking to other people to see, pick their mind to see what it is. That's what you want to find and you want to build on it. It's like finding your tribe again. So once you got your tribe, why you want to go out of that?
Right.
You only leave that when you have to. When you have to either go on the battlefield, do what you gotta do, or go to work and then you come back home. Everything else stays outside. I go in the house, I pray to Allah, you'll keep Shaitan out of my home. That he's not welcome here. Any evil thoughts is not welcome in my home. And that's just how it is.
What you got going on next? I know y'all threw out that video that was crazy. Did you style that?
Yes,
Style that video?
yeah. Me and April
she
were
styled
on
it.
there.
She was shocked I came with the apron.
Oh yeah, no, he
Oh,
had
you had the apron. He put an apron in the
Yeah, he
group
put
with
his own stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
he
was
put
basically
an apron
like, I got
in
this.
I gotta give my wife all the credit for that. She put that piece together. I got my finger in post on a couple of things. Like I said, Lamar's Couture, my brother Bless, we doing that. I have Text Pen Inc., which is I'm doing some executive production, producing on some movies with my man Dominique from the Bronx. We got some joints that's actually about to drop. Got like maybe 3 Tubi joints that's moving around.
Not Tubi, my
Tubi?
nigga.
Oh.
We outside.
You know, like,
Let's get that Tubi money.
Fox owns Tubi now.
Really?
Fox
Either
owns
Fox or
Tubi?
Sony owns Tubi now. That's if you look, you see the difference.
Nah, because
now.
I've been watching Money and Violence on that piece, and I see that it's different.
Yeah.
now.
Oh, I have to tune back
Yeah.
in. I do have a question
Yeah,
over
so
here.
I'm doing acting. I'm reading scripts. I'm executive producing. I'm in the joints with my man Joe Eyes to Live and Die in Bed-Stuy. I did a couple of joints from Tales with Irv.
Mm-hmm. So you acted?
Yes. I think that's the transition I want to go into. Doing acting and also my music thing, having it in schools and the prisons, helping the kids out, helping people out. I think that's what Allah put me here for. So that's once He gives you that gift, you have to find it, hone it, and give it back. And I think I'm on the path for that right now.
You got a question, Kyle?
Yes, Devin says, what was it like working with Sean Prince?
Sean Price.
Price. I'm sorry, Price.
Oh man, what you see is what you get with Sean Price. That was our brother, man. It was like I remember when he first came and said, he's changing his name to Sean Price. And I'm like, how you gonna change your name from your name to your name?
Like,
I'm not doing the ruck shit.
I'm not doing the ruck shit no more.
Yeah. So you're like, well, you think it's gonna work? And that guy knew something, man. He's the ultimate still to this day, man. Big up Sean Price.
Yeah,
Sean Price forever.
ferocious.
My bestie tomorrow is actually bestie day too.
Yo, he was such a ferocious lyricist.
Oh man, she was
Like gargantuan.
incredible.
Yeah.
It's like, when you do this, you want to be accepted and loved by your peers and to see a nigga face go like,
Yeah. Yeah, he was gargantuan.
I say top lyricists.
Right.
Here's Sean version and be like,
Yeah.
I can't even think of nothing right now. I'm like, dang.
And like you said, how with Bucket it would look effortless. With Sean P, that shit used to look effortless.
Easy.
Like damn, son, how did you even?
Easy. And when he ain't fuck with you, you know it. When he want to be around you, you know it. His favorite line, you're about to go buy some Dutchess. And never come back. Gone. Yo, this nigga. Got weed in your head, waiting to roll up 3 hours. It's like, yo, this nigga ain't never coming back.
This nigga ain't never coming back. Yo. That's hilarious. Now, I'm proud of y'all, man. You know, and I've said it, I'm not going to go into it this week like I did in the previous weeks, but I opened for y'all at Morgan Day. Right? I did.
I think you told me that.
Yeah, I told you that. You laughed like this. You're like, what the fuck is this nigga talking about? I'm not.
Look, he's like cracking.
Right, he's cracking up. No, nigga, I opened for you, nigga. I warmed the stage up for you, son. The chicks were screaming for you. They were screaming for me, too, nigga. But also, look, check this shit out, though. I had mentioned it with Steel and with Rock, but I opened for Fab Five at Newport's one time, and Sean P got on stage and fucking went in on me. Just like the nigga. Look, Tech, you know when the nigga be freestyling, he was doing this shit with his head.
Yeah.
That nigga was big head, skinny nigga. Like this nigga went off. But you know what though? I'm gonna tell you something because I always chased hip hop. I always wanted to be in this game, and I'm a writer. At my roots, I'm a writer.
Right.
But I didn't love being an MC. Like I enjoyed being on stage, and I still do. Right? But I didn't enjoy like writing rhymes. I'm much better at writing stories. Like I'm much better at chronicling is what I'm saying. Right? If that makes sense. But because I was wordy, I was acceptable. Like it was like, okay, this nigga's nice. But it wasn't a passion of mine. I just wanted to be in the room.
So you just wanted, okay.
I just wanted to be a part.
So what would
it's not necessarily the light. I just wanted to be a part of the culture.
Okay. So what was better for you, creating or performing?
Creating was way better than performing.
Because that's the writer in you.
Right, it's the writer in me. But I have I'm never scared to get on a stage.
Right.
Like how you talked about that butterflies, I never experienced them. When I look at 8,000 people out there, it's almost like God. It's godly because to me it's like it's a reminder of how minuscule I am and how big the world is, right? Yeah. So I actually gained strength from that shit.
Okay.
But it wasn't about performing lyrically. It was just about having that connection with the crowd.
Really?
Right? I just didn't love it. Like I had niggas in my crew loved the shit. Like they loved it. Like I used to rock with G-Bo the Pro, DJ Ray Double R. My man Agent 106 loved it. He got signed to Tommy Boy. Like, you know what I'm saying? But it was something like I did everything. I DJ'd.
Was he fucking with Pete Rock at the time?
Lightly, yeah, he was. Before he got locked though. He did some time. But he was fucking with all them niggas before.
Yeah,
Easy LP.
That's like for the streets ain't for everybody, so that's why it's sidewalks.
Right. So you saying I belong on the sidewalk of hip hop? He said I belong on the sidewalk of hip hop. Nah, you know what I'm saying?
But you're still part of it. It blends together.
Right, because it's all the neighborhood, right?
Exactly.
But nah,
it's not a false step.
It's also important. It's right. It's right here. I'm like right here.
Exactly.
But it's important though. But it's important to follow your passion and your purpose.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? And I feel like my purpose has been more so to represent in the way that I do now. Like I do a lot of hosting, but I'm also very community driven. Like that's where I'm at.
That's the beautiful part.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, your man.
But you have the speaker's voice though.
Nigga, I was nice.
You know what I'm
saying? I was nice. Yeah. But you know, like overall, like it was a great experience. All of it has been great because hip hop has kind of birthed leaders in all industries. Like hip hop has become bigger than just it.
They're using hip hop to raise awareness all around the world, like commercials. You see hip hop in boardroom meetings now. There's hip hop. You can wake up and start your day without a piece of hip hop.
Correct.
It's in every facet. Being seen.
It's in every facet of world culture.
Right.
Right.
And so they know the the youth was coming is grabbing a hold of it and changing it in their ball of clay, in their form. So I tell people like sometimes we can't hate whenever it was the shit when it was the mumble rap, you couldn't hear it. Like, nigga, we was that at one time too.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody was fucking with what we was talking about.
Yeah, your parents definitely wasn't
Yeah,
fucking
they
with
wasn't
that.
like, get that shit out of here. So we gotta get as young as they chance, give them their space. As long as you respect them, they gonna respect you. That's how I see it.
Right.
And I think that goes for life, period. There's some dickheads out there, but
Now and again, man, like I said, man, I'm very proud of y'all, man, in the way that you guys have been able to reflect maturity in the culture.
thank you.
You know, being in this culture, you see people that come from out of the '90s, and you see various things. Like you see the entire spectrum of success and failure,
Mm-hmm.
right? You see people that are kind of trapped in their persona, and all they could do is that one or two songs that, right? And then,
Right.
but for you guys have been able to diversify effectively. You've been able to really be professional about how you move, so that I have not met a person that would say a cross thing about Smif-N-Wessun or about the entire boot camp clip.
Yeah.
Not a thing, right? And so that speaks your reputation and how your character. I heard a thing that your decisions create your habits,
Mm-hmm.
your habits create your character, but your character directs your life.
That's ill. I like
Right? So your character has kind of been the trajectory, and it comes from the decisions and the habits that
Absolutely.
you have. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? I ain't like that shit about me being on the sidewalk. I never told you about that.
Sharad said you streets adjacent.
I'm street adjacent.
Phil, okay, so I got two questions.
Yeah.
Phil wants you to spit a hot 16 right now. And while you think about your hot 16,
I don't have to think, nigga. I'm nice.
No.
He's nice.
I'm
though.
nice.
Well, we got a question.
Go on, give me a question. Now I'm gonna spit my 16.
Kenneth, Tech was a good boxer at one point. When did you know you wanted to be an artist, and what has kept Smif-N-Wessun together?
When did I
That's a
know
good
that I
question.
wanted to be an artist?
Yeah.
Again, I didn't choose this. Hip hop chose me. Like I said, I was doing college, school, music, and boxing all together. And in my mind, I'm just saying, yo, whichever one takes off first,
That's what you're going with.
that's what I'm running with.
Right.
So if I would have if I would have caught a valedictorian in college, I probably would have went further than that. Yes, I know I could have been champion in belts in boxing, but Allah didn't make that.
Right.
Like the thing in life, they say you want to hear a joke and get a laugh, tell Allah, tell God your plans.
Right. Right.
All our plans is already written out. So the music is what jumped for me, and that's we here. That's why I'm here.
Right. What was it about boxing though that was that gave you that passion?
I think it was just being a pugilist like that, because like I said, like when you look a certain way and you talk a certain way, and a motherfucker always want to poke you, and
Mm-hmm.
when you punch a nigga in his mouth,
Cha-ching.
but so now you like
Wait, what's I to say?
somebody else say
Everybody else
something.
play until they
So
get
they
punched
get
in the mouth.
It's so many tough people till they get punched
Till they
in
get
their
punched in
mouth
the
and
mouth.
they taste their blood.
Right.
You can make a nigga bleed
Right.
easy.
Yeah, I was
You
telling
taste your own blood, it's different.
I was telling somebody just yesterday about bullying the bullies.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah,
yo,
yeah,
you
yeah.
gotta fucking bully the bullies.
I was known for that,
You know
being
what I'm
a
saying?
bigger dudes, and I really think a lot that hip hop has changed my life. It puts me in a 360 revolving door, because the things we done and I done is we used to just think to be like, yo, man, it could have been so much worse. It could have been so much worse. And I think changing early and not having to do a bunch of prison time
Right.
to get there,
Right.
that's also a help. You know what I mean? Because Like I got friends and bros that's just coming home after doing 20, 30 joints who don't even know how to work a phone. Some of them do because they got joints in there. Then there's some don't that be like, yo, nigga, I was waiting over here. The bus don't even run. Nigga, the bus ain't run that way in 20 years.
Right? Nah, real talk.
It's like,
Yeah, real talk.
That question was from your brother Kenny Dogs.
Dogs, shout out to dogs.
KD's know what it was.
So who wanted to hit a 16?
Phil wanted to hit a 16.
That's what
But
he is?
it was a 2-part question from Kenny though.
What's the other question?
It was
Phil
what
Troy?
Yeah. Phil
What
Montroy.
kept?
He wants you to spit the
I got it. But at the end of this, I'm gonna spit.
Okay,
what kept
me?
what kept y'all together? Smif-N-Wessun together.
Family, man. Each other. Like still pisses me off like every.
He's here listening.
So he knows. He pisses me off. But this time he might text me right now and I'll just look at the phone. Nigga, I'm not with that. Right. But that's my brother. I love him and I know him. He knows me. We're family. Like you have friends and people that's closer to you than your blood family.
Yeah.
That you would die for and live for and do all sorts of shit for. So
Facts. And we got to think, so, because, like, that's how me and Kai is, right? Like, all of us, me and Jay, me and Kai. Like, one thing that we talk about is how, like, having a team that is aligned is so important.
Yeah.
Because you can do so much. Yo, I could not have accomplished things that I've accomplished without sitting in Kai's basement and talking shit with Kai and Dan and Big Kev and going over shit and niggas saying, yo, nah, that's dope. Nah, that shit is whack. Don't do that. Right? Like, that's the synergy of a family.
Right.
Even though we may not always get along.
You dope alone, but when you got the team,
it's so much better, bro. It is.
You fucking Avengers.
Right. It is. So, yeah. It is.
We're all superheroes, but together it's it's the X-Men.
Yeah. No Man Selfie says what up, and he is saying, who would you want to play you in a movie?
Who would I want to play me?
Yeah, in a movie. You acting now,
I mean,
you should go play herself in her lifetime.
Right. You might fuck around and play yourself. Because there's gonna be. Let me be clear.
I gotta have a. I'm trying to see.
There's gonna be a boot camp movie, my nigga.
Oh,
we may be 30 years down the line. We may be in our 70s. They're gonna make the movie.
Definitely, most definitely. Damn, I don't know, man. There's a lot of dope people out there, man. I mean, I probably would want to see my son actually play me. I guess it's dependent on the age group or where it is. I think I would want to see my son because just his features, it'd be like, you know, when you look at your kids, you see yourself. And just to see what his personality would add to it, I think that would make it hell dynamic.
Good. We good, man. We had a good interview, man. This was
Somebody
great.
said dude from Snowfall. I have a quick question. What was it like doing the tiny desk?
Dude from Snowfall.
Wait, which one?
Franklin Say.
Or
Leon.
Right, Leon. Nah, they talk about Franklin. They talk about Franklin, nigga. Yeah, how was it doing Tiny Desk?
Tiny Desk was super dope.
It was really good.
It was super dope.
Like, if y'all didn't check out the Tiny Desk. It was so good.
Tiny Desk brought me closer to one of my older brothers. That's all he used to watch. Tiny Desk. From Virginia. And I go down there one time. Like, hey, man. You know that country. Hey, man. Let me holler at you. Now I know you, but I don't really know you now. I'm like, what? Say that again? I know you, but I don't know you. Like, damn, I'm your brother for how many years? What the fuck are you? Where'd that come from?
Right.
So that shit hurt for a minute.
Right.
You're like, hey, we go, man. I heard you did Tiny Desk. Like, yeah. Like, you or Tiny Desk? You and Steel? Like, yeah.
Yeah, nigga. Yeah.
With the whole band behind it.
He watched that shit. He sent it to everybody in his fucking job. And he used to draw for, like, the Air Force or some shit. He would draw their fighter planes or something.
That's dope.
So he sent it to the whole base and all his friends. He's like, yeah, man, they got me over here. Now you know you my brother. I'm like, oh,
Now I'm your
now you know me, I'm your brother. But just last week, you ain't know me, but you know me.
Right.
But yeah, Tiny Desk was super fly. We had just finished recording the All album. So some of those words were still fresh and new, but we pulled it out.
Yeah.
We pulled it out.
It was really good.
Yeah, that was thank you. That was dope.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, the first Tiny Desk I seen that put me on, I was like, yo, this is fucking incredible, was T-Pain. I seen T-Pain Tiny Desk. I was like, oh,
You know what shit I like? It's two Tiny Desks I watch all the time. Chronics,
I haven't seen Chronic.
Murdered Tiny Desk, and Anderson .Paak. Fucking murdered
I
Tiny
ain't seen
Desk.
it yet either.
Yeah, murdered that.
I seen Usher joint. I seen
That's where they got the
Isley
Isley
Brother
shit from.
joint is crazy.
Yeah, I seen the Isley shit. I ain't seen the Usher shit though.
Shit.
I seen the Isley shit.
Yeah.
Any more?
Phil just said, hands down, Smif-N-Wessun was one of the better Tiny Desk performances. And then True Love is asking, do you plan to do Blue Note? And when is the
Yeah,
next?
I've done Blue Note.
Oh, and Phil is asking, when is the next album dropping?
Well, right now we're the next album again will be recorded by Ninth Wonder and the Soul Council, titled Infinity. 8th studio album. We're looking for it to be dropping like next year. First joint offer we're trying to catch this February date, but moving parts is moving crazy. As far as Blue Note, we did Blue Note. We did Blue Note a couple of times. But if they want us there, tell us. We coming through.
Yes, Blue Note
I
and the
ain't turning
boat.
down
We
no
need
stage.
y'all
Yeah,
on
we
the
need
boat.
y'all on the boat. I'm going on the
And the
boat
block
next year.
party.
We need
Yeah,
y'all
we
on the
need
boat
the
next
boat.
year. Yeah,
We need
we
the
need the
boat, man.
boat next
We need
year.
the boat, man.
We need the Nas Yankee Stadium joint. We need wherever it's at. Smif-N-Wessun coming to rock.
Yes.
Real
yes.
talk. Real talk.
Oh,
This is
you're
dope.
not out the hot seat. Where's your
Oh, they
situation?
were-
All right, so
Where's
I'm gonna spit. But look,
You going to Acapulco?
I'm going Acapulco. If you like my 16, let me get on Infinity. Let me get.
Do you hear this?
Yo, let me get Phil. Phil. Here's the deal.
Steel is here too.
Yo,
No.
still, God, listen. If y'all like
I
my
know he just
16,
poured the drink for that one.
if y'all like what I'm about to spit, just give me 8 bars on Infinity. That's all I'm asking for. All right?
Oh God.
Y'all ready?
Yeah,
Alright,
I'm ready.
Look, check it. Love story, where's the love for me? So ugly, ain't nothing left. Niggas real phony, fake homies. Envy is speaking on me, so unholy guns on me. Wifey wanna console me, all she could do is hold me. It's fucked up, all my niggas getting knocked, touched up. All a blur now, living every minute drugged up. Burn heavy, still rock steady, come and get me. In the old Chevy, hat cock, looking so deadly. Pedal to the floor won't catch me. As if you pull me over now, son, I'm so filthy. Bust a 360, do dirt, spell time like Bill Bixby. And ain't much time left, I'm living real shifty. Cops knock, cop lock, chain on the top lock. Non-stop balling with my eyes on the game clock. If I fall off, find me in the same spot. Broke ass niggas still living on the same block.
Oh,
Give me my shit, nigga. Yo, put me on the man. I told niggas I was nice, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I'm right, I do that, man.
Alright.
Look, we had fun, yo. Comment on the thing, man. Give me a deal, man. I'm 48 years old. I got
be on the
a deal.
boat. You want me on the
I need to be on the boat. I need to be on the boat, man. I just proved myself. I need to be on the boat.
40 in the deal. That's the name of the album. 40 in the deal.
40 in the deal.
40th in Broadway.
You know what I mean? I just thought I was playing. I'm not playing.
Oh my
Yo, shout out to
God.
everybody, man. It's always
Dialogue.
Yes.
Dialogue.
Dialogue.
You know what I'm saying?
Hilarious.
Look, we love y'all. We be back. So let me just tell you, next week is going to be our last episode for the year. We're going to take December off because there's a lot going on for all of us. We're going to come back January 2nd. So next week, we're going to have a special episode to end off. And then we'll be back January 2nd, all right? What they saying about my 16? Hot. Fire, right? Fire.
Text Eli.
Fire. I got more. Y'all niggas every week I was on 16.
Dropping for you.
Please listen to my demo.
Thanksgiving Day.
Please listen.
EPMD, please listen to my demo.
Phil said, I'll never doubt you again, Marlonius. I can't.
Yo, that rhyme was like 20 years old, nigga. I was hoping I could remember it.
Remember it.
Yeah, that was my shit, because that was my shit I would pull on niggas. Like, oh, word,
That's your go-to.
Yeah, that's
drink.
right. You ready, nigga? Because I'm ready.
When you first asked him, he was like, oh shit.
Yeah, like what I'm. Oh, I got it.
Yeah.
I know what I was saying.
Kia said hot fire.
See?
Marlonius Monk coming
Marlonius Monk.
2025.
That's my new name. Okay, Marlonius Monk. 50 with a dip.
Oh my God.
We doing it, man. Nah, it's all love,
Still
man.
that fire, bro.
Nigga, this is hip hop. This is hip hop closet, man. That's what we
That's
doing
it.
here, man.
Oh wait, Shabbat said, sure that ain't Young MC.
So this is what I said. Nah, check it. When I was a kid, I used to rhyme, right? So battle on my block. So I had bought a Young MC tape from B Street. Remember when B Street used to have the shit in the boxes?
Yeah.
So nigga, I knew nobody in my hood had ever heard Young MC before. So nigga, I went outside. He had this rhyme he did when he mentioned Greg Louganis. This is when, remember Greg Louganis bust his head?
Right.
So he had that rhyme, nigga. I took that shit outside. Niggas wasn't listening to Young MC, and I started spitting that shit, and niggas was taking me all through Crown Heights. Yo, come with me. Yo, come up here. Yo, spit that shit. It was nigga killing them with Young MC. I get that nigga royalties or something, man. But that was on me right there, man.
Oh God.
Right.
All right.
Yo, this shit has been hilarious, man. We love y'all.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We will see y'all next week, man. I'm gonna pour me another drink, man.